Rice is a cereal grain and in its domesticated form is the staple food of over half of the world's population, particularly in Asia and Africa. Rice is the seed of the grass species Rhizosativa Asian rice or, much less commonly, Rhizoglabrimu African rice. Asian rice was domesticated in China some 13,500 to 8,200 years ago. African rice was domesticated in Africa about 3,000 years ago. Rice has become commonplace in many cultures worldwide. In 2023, 800 million tons were produced, placing it third after sugarcane and maize. Only some 8% of rice is traded internationally. China, India, and Indonesia are the largest consumers of rice. A substantial amount of the rice produced in developing nations is lost after harvest through factors such as poor transport and storage. Rice yields can be reduced by pests including insects, rodents, and birds, as well as by weeds, and by diseases such as rice blast. Traditional rice polycultures such as rice duck farming and modern integrated pest management seek to control damage from pests in a sustainable way. Dry rice grain is milled to remove the outer layers. Depending on how much is removed, products range from brown rice to rice with germ and white rice. Some is parboiled to make it easy to cook. Rice contains no gluten. It provides protein but not all the essential amino acids needed for good health. Rice of different types is eaten around the world. The composition of starch components within the grain, amylose and amylopectin, gives it different texture properties. 1. Long grain rice from the indica cultivar tends to stay intact on cooking and is dry and fluffy. The aromatic rice varieties, such as basmati and jasmine, are widely used in Asian cooking and distinguished by their bold and nutty flavor profile. 2. Medium grain rice, from either the Japonica or indica cultivar, or a hybrid of both, is moist and tender and tends to stick together. 3. Its varieties include Calrose, which founded the Californian rice industry, Carnaroli, attributed as the king of Italian rice due to its excellent cooking properties. 4. And black rice, which looks dark purple due to high levels of anthocyanins, and is also known as forbidden rice as it was reserved for the consumption of the royal family in ancient China. 5. Short grain rice, primarily from the Japonica cultivar, has an oval appearance and sticky texture. It is featured heavily in Japanese cooking such as sushi with rice such as kashikari, hatsushimo, and seisanishiki, unique to different regions of climate and geography in Japan. 6. As it keeps its shape when cooked. It is also used for sweet dishes such as mochi with glutinous rice, and in European cuisine such as risotto with arborio rice, and paella with Bombay rice, which is actually an indica variety. 2. Cooked white rice contains 29% carbohydrate and 2% protein, with some manganese. Golden rice is a variety produced by genetic engineering to contain vitamin A. Production of rice is estimated to have caused over 1% of global greenhouse gas emissions in 2022. Predictions of how rice yields will be affected by climate change vary across geographies and socio-economic contexts. In human culture, rice plays a role in various religions and traditions, such as in weddings. The rice plant can grow to over 1m3 ft tall. If in deep water, it can reach a length of 5m16 ft. From seed to harvest, it takes about 6 months. 7. A single plant may have several leafy stems or tillers. The upright stem is jointed with nodes along its length. A long slender leaf arises from each node. The self-fertile flowers are produced in a panicle, a branched inflorescence which arises from the last internode on the stem. There can be up to 350 spiclets in a panicle, each containing male and female flower parts, anthers, and ovule. A fertilized ovule develops into the edible grain or caryopsis. 9. Rice is a cereal belonging to the family Poaceae. As a tropical crop, it can be grown during the two distinct seasons, dry and wet, of the year, provided that sufficient water is made available. 10. It is normally an annual, but in the tropics it can survive as a perennial, producing a ratoon crop. 11. Anatomy of rice flowers. Spiklet left, plant with tillers center, caryopsis top right, panicle right. Anatomy of rice flowers. Spiklet left, plant with tillers center, caryopsis top right, panicle right. Detail of rice plant showing flowers grouped in panicle. Male anthers protrude into the air where they can disperse their pollen. Detail of rice plant showing flowers grouped in panicle. Male anthers protrude into the air where they can disperse their pollen. Like all crops, rice depends for its growth on both biotic and abiotic environmental factors. The principal biotic factors are crop variety, pests, and plant diseases. Abiotic factors include the soil type, whether lowland or upland, amount of rain or irrigation water, temperature, day length, and intensity of sunlight. Rice grains can be planted directly into the field where they will grow, or seedlings can be grown in a seedbed and transplanted into the field. Direct seeding needs some 60 to 80 kg of grain per hectare, while transplanting needs less, around 40 kg per hectare, but requires far more labor. 13. Most rice in Asia is transplanted by hand. Mechanical transplanting takes less time but requires a carefully prepared field and seedlings raised on mats or in trays to fit the machine. 14. Rice does not thrive if continuously submerged. 15. Rice can be grown in different environments depending upon water availability. The usual arrangement is for lowland fields to be surrounded by bunds and flooded to a depth of a few centimeters until around a week before harvest time. This requires a large amount of water. The alternate wetting and drying technique uses less water. One form of this is to flood the field to a depth of 5 cm 2 in, then to let the water level drop to 15 cm 6 in below surface level, as measured by looking into a perforated field water tube sunk into the soil, and then repeating the cycle. 16. Deep water rice varieties tolerate flooding to a depth of over 50 centimeters for at least a month. 17. Upland rice is grown without flooding. In hilly or mountainous regions, it is run-fed like wheat or maize. Across Asia, unmilled rice or paddy, Malay paddy, was traditionally the product of smallholder agriculture with manual harvesting. Larger farms make use of machines such as combine harvesters to reduce the input of labor. 19. The grain is ready to harvest when the moisture content is 20-25%. Harvesting involves reaping, stacking the cut stalks, threshing to separate the grain, and cleaning by winnowing or screening. 20. The rice grain is dried as soon as possible to bring the moisture content down to a level that is safe from mold fungi. Traditional drying relies on the heat of the sun, with the grain spread out on mats or on pavements. 21. Rice combine harvester in Chiba Prefecture, Japan. After the harvest, rice straw is gathered in the traditional way from small paddy fields in Mae, Thailand. Burning of rice residues to prepare the land for wheat planting in Sangre, India. Drying rice in Purvar, India. The edible rice species are members of the bobclade within the grass family, the pose. The rice subfamily, Rhizoid, is sister to the bamboos, Bambusoid, and the cereal subfamily Pood. The rice genus Rizu is one of 11 in the Rizi. It is sister to the Phyllorachidae. The edible rice species O. sativa and O. glabrimu are among some 300 species or subspecies in the genus. 22. Pos other grasses. Packmudclade Inc. The C4 grasses, maize, sorghum. Bobclade Rhizoid Streptogyne. Earharty. Phyllorachidae. Rizi wild rices Inc. Zizania. Rizu other rice species and subspecies. O. sativa Asian rice. O. glabrimu African rice. Bambusoid bamboos. Pood grasses and cereals Inc. Wheat, barley.